I'm about to expose a step-by-step secret funnel to help you generate $100,000 per month with your personal brand. Now, this isn't just a quick video. This is a step-by-step training you can implement for a coaching business today. My name is Gilad Hanina, and over the past 5 years, I've helped build and scale revenue for some of the biggest brands in the online space today. Now, this strategy I'm about to present in this video literally took our clients to more than $100,000 per month with their coaching business, and few of our clients to more than $500,000 per month. Now, the system you're about to see in this video is something we've been using internally inside our agency, helping coaches scale their offers, and now I'm about to give it away for free so you can learn it and implement it for your own business. If you like this training, hit the like button and let's get started.
Hey, what's up everyone? I'm actually pretty excited to share everything with you all. I was talking to Joel the other day and I was like, hey, how can I make the most out of this presentation? What can I do to just make sure it's gonna be the greatest? And Joel just told me, just give everything away. Just give everything away. So that's what I've prepared for you all. A little bit, what we're gonna talk about is how to generate six-figure amount income with IG shoutout using your personal brand. So we're gonna talk about growing your personal brand in a way that's gonna help you grow your business. So you'll go both things, pretty much. Now, before I begin, let me introduce myself. I'm from Israel, just like Sergio said. I didn't fly all the way for this event, but I'm excited I was in the States to be able to come. And I'm the founder and CEO of AOS Media. I have a network of 100 million followers. And I was just talking to you all here outside, and it's got me excited. I started my agency kind of journey about 6 years ago. I was serving in the Israeli army, and I was kind of hustling back then, learning how to do Instagram. And since then, I just got really focused on that. I built my own brand to 1.3 million followers. We have over 8 figures in sales in client results. And we've worked with thousands of people over the years. And yeah, let's dive right in. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in the next 30 minutes, how you can make six-figure amount income with your personal brand. By the way, this applies to whether you're a coach, consultant, or even an agency. It really depends on how you structure your offer. I'm going to talk about Instagram shoutouts, and specifically the Instagram shoutout is working with influencers on Instagram, right? And there are many niches, so this can be applied. I have a friend of mine from Israel who just, I taught him a little bit. He implemented Instagram shoutouts for his dropshipping store, actually. And now he's doing multiple six figures income just through influencers for e-commerce. So over the years, I've worked with fashion brands, with different e-com brands, and I personally decided to focus mostly on working with personal brands. But this applies to basically any niche. And yeah, we did over 10 million in sales, and that's what I'm going to give you. That's what I'm going to give you today. Pretty much the framework, the infrastructure that we are using to generate this revenue for our clients. So before we begin, I want to give you some stories about some clients we work with so you can see and understand how things work. So for example, this is Paul. He's a good friend of mine now. And about 1.5 years ago, he came to me and he was doing about $50K a month with his coaching offer. He was doing it all through Facebook. He didn't do anything on Instagram. And he came to me, was because one of my other clients referred him, and he didn't actually jump on Instagram. He's like, hey Gilad, I don't have an extra seller. I don't have the infrastructure right now to deal with Instagram. So many reasons on why not to do Instagram. And I had to do 2 calls with him over the period of 30 days to really convince him that Instagram is the biggest opportunity for the growth of his business. And after 30 days, he's like, yeah, Gilad, let's go. Let's do this. And we started with him when he had about 9,000 followers. And we took him all the way up to over 200,000 followers over the period of I guess a little more than 12 months. We got him to over $500,000 a month in revenue. And it wasn't as fluent as it is. Obviously, it's month 1, we are starting building infrastructure. And then month 2, we are starting to analyze data and scaling. And step by step, we are doing 10K, 20K, 100K in revenue. And we didn't just do this with Paul. We did it with many other clients. The Zab Twins we took to around 200K a month. They are doing way more now. And we are also working with a lot of other clients, like you can see here on the screen. So I'm just showing this to you all so you know what I'm talking about. And my goal is just to give you everything. Here you can see some more screenshots. I'm not going to dive into it, but like different return on ad spend that we are doing for clients, like 17, 12, 10, and revenue numbers. But let's skip that and get into the details. I really wanted to get you hyped, so you guys all like really want to learn this, because I feel Instagram shoutouts is something that not a lot of people utilize. Not a lot of people understand and know how to utilize the power of it. And who doesn't? If you don't know it to a T, it's very hard to get it to be success. But if you do, it can bring massive results in a short period of time. So guys, are you excited and ready to dive deep into Instagram shoutouts? Okay, good, perfect. So and by the way, I was trying to think, how can I simplify everything to the most simple thing, so you can all like not only like understand it, but really grasp it in the best way. So I made it into a very simple funnel, which has 4 steps in it, and that's what we're going to talk about in this presentation pretty much. First step is the traffic. We use influencers. I'm sure you know these pages, maybe Millionaire Mentor, Mindset Therapy, Awareness of Success. That's actually my own brand. And we leverage influencers. So that's the first piece. What we do is we go to these pages and we pay them money to basically post a feed post or a story or something, and that's how we drive traffic. The next piece is IG profile, and that's where your profile comes into play, that's how we nurture those new followers that are coming in with content to really get them to be ready to maybe book a call and just like buy whatever we are selling to them. So that's the second step, and you gotta know how to build your profile in the right way to really convert followers into paying customers. So that's the IG profile. And then we have a VSL and an IG setter. I hope you all know what it means, but I'm going to talk about it a lot more in detail. Video sales letter, it's basically a funnel and a setter who is going to talk to the new followers who are coming in. Very important piece of the puzzle, because we're going to have the traffic coming in, the profile, and the system to basically convert those followers into booked calls. And then the last step of the process is booked calls, and just having a calendar full of booked calls that you guys can just like go in and close, or your sales team can go in and close. So yeah, you guys want to learn how to get this calendar full of booked calls with Instagram?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get it.
Perfect. So this is the 4 pieces. We're going to start with an optimized profile. And then we're going to jump into the VSL and appointment setter, traffic, and then booked calls. The reason is I want to give it to you in this way, because that's how I see it working. Because you start with your content and your profile. You start with creating your identity and your brand online. If you don't have an optimized profile, nothing is going to work. Just think of your profile like the landing page to your funnel or to your website or whatever. If the profile is not optimized, you're going to send traffic into it, nothing is going to happen, right? So it needs to be structured in the right way. And then the second thing is the VSL and appointment setter. You gotta need to have your sales processes in place, because if you don't, and then you're gonna send traffic, nothing is gonna happen. So once you have 1 and 2 set up, you can start running traffic and you can start having a ton of booked calls from Instagram. So an optimized profile. It's an IG profile that converts new followers into paying customers. That's what it is, right? Nothing more, nothing less. Now, to have an optimized profile, you wanna have certain specific things like a clear profile picture, bio messaging need to be specific. You want to present credibility, maybe even quantify if you can, and you want to talk about your highlights. Now, this is all basics. I'm sure you guys all know this, but very important to set it up in the right way. We want to set usually the bio in a certain way where it's like very direct and specific. I help target audience make desired output with new way, right? And for example, the Zapped Wins, helping everyday people build income stream through Amazon. Brandon Carter, I help trainers grow their online fitness business. You want to make it stupid simple for people to really understand what you're doing, who you're helping, because Instagram has a ton of volumes. And once you're going to do IG shoutouts, so many people are going to come into your profile, and it's going to be really hard to deal with. And what you want to do is attract the right people to come in and talk to you, and people who are not your ideal customers, get them out. So it needs to be very specific and with the bio messaging. And that's pretty much how you want to set up the first part of the profile. very, very simple with also a CTA to DMs. That's how we usually convert a lot of the people. It's either through link in bio or DMs, usually both. So you want to have a certain keyword like DME, the word freedom, to get started. That's where we would have the IG setter responding to those DMs. Now, super important part for optimizing profile is highlight. A lot of people neglect. Are you all familiar with Instagram highlights, story highlights? Perfect. So there are many things you can do with highlight. Based on my experience, really, using the highlights a lot to generate a lot of sales, there are 5 highlights that are just the most critical to have. It's 3 highlights of results. Usually you just want to have so many screenshots, results. So when people come into your profile, they understand exactly that you are legit, that you can get results for people and not just for yourself. And usually you want to present it not in just like one story, but like 3 different full highlights. And that's the first, in my opinion, 3 most important ones. And then about me and what I do. Let's start with what I do. The what I do highlight is an highlight which is like a mini VSL funnel where you're basically making what you're doing, explaining it in the most stupid, simple way, pretty much. So for example, I help coaches and consultants scale their offers with Instagram, right? So this is exactly what I would say in the what I do highlight, but I would go in exactly like who this is for, who this is not for, how it works, maybe 5 slides. So people can really understand, and my ideal customers can see it, and then they can go through the results, understand what I do, right? And then about me, this is where this is not just about conversion now, it's about creating this relationship with the people, because people actually also buy from people they know, resonate with. We just talked about it outside where, Asian people buy from Asian people. It's true, right? People buy from people they know and are familiar with. But you want to present yourself also in a way that also promote whatever you're selling. So for example, if I were to do a highlight right now and about me, I could talk about how I remember sitting myself maybe 5 years ago, sitting on a bench after I finished, 2 weeks in the army. And I was thinking, hey, I might have to go and be a mechanical engineer when I finish my army service because the Instagram algorithm just changed and all the viral growth that I was doing is not working anymore. And then obviously, who can resonate, by the way? Whoever was in this point of life where you're just thinking everything is collapsing and you might have to go back being an employee and nothing is gonna work. Anyone can resonate? Perfect, okay, because that's me 5 years ago and I didn't know what to do because Instagram just swiped the entire algorithm. And that's when I discovered IG shoutouts 5 years ago, and then I decided, hey, I'm gonna do affiliate marketing. And 2 months later, pretty much, I made around 16K in revenue with affiliate marketing, with shoutouts. And that's me as a soldier in the army earning $200, right? So ever since then, I cracked the code on shoutouts, and that's how I scaled it to whatever you see today. Still working, and now we're generating millions of dollars in client sales, all through the same method that I've developed 5 years ago. Through shoutouts. So that's an example of an about me where I'm presenting a story so people can really connect with me. Now you guys know me a little more, but you also see the power of IG shoutout, how good it is, and whatever you are selling, whatever offer you're having, you can present it in a way where you build connection with your audience, but also get people to really understand and they want to work with you. Does this make sense, everybody? Perfect. So that's the highlights. Now, we covered like the first half of your profile, right? The bio, the highlights, the picture. The next thing you want to do is your content. You want your content to be highly, highly optimized to convert new followers into paying customers. So when we talk about content, our goal is not only to convert people into customers, but also create growing engagement on their profile. And that's something that is really, really important to know. More reach equals more sales. If all the content you're going to post, let's assume I'm going to sell Agency Lab, right? So I'm going to always say, hey, if you're an agency owner, go here, click this, do this. My reach is going to be really low, right? Because no one is going to engage with it, no one is going to like it, no one is going to share it. It's just very salesy. On the other hand, so that's the flip side of like being just like very targeted. On the flip side, you can be very general and just post motivational quotes and stuff that people share and go really, really viral. So you're going to get a lot of reach, but no one is going to buy anything, right? Because you don't talk about the offer, you don't do anything. So you can either go really viral or you can be very salesy. None of them are going to get results. So creating content is really like, you got to be strategic about it in creating in a way that's going to drive reach and you're going to get a lot more engagement, but you're going to do it in a way that's going to convert into sales. And that's what I'm going to teach you guys today, how we are creating content in that specific way. So that's why we have 3 types of content, okay? I call it, the first one is viral plus targeted, second one is lead generation, and third one is a personal story. Do anyone have ideas, by the way? Let's like start to visualize what each one of these. The viral plus targeted is basically taking content that is viral on Instagram. Instagram has an algorithm, and there are, depending on your niche, whether you might be in the fashion niche, agency, real estate, no matter what niche you are, if you're using team pages to do shoutouts, there are certain topics, there are certain things that are going viral. And what you want to do is capitalize on those things that are working, that are going viral, and repurpose them with your messaging, your voice to your profile, but you want to do it in a way that's going to connect to your offer. So that's viral plus targeted. I will show you examples in a second. Lead generation is basically, hey, I'm looking for 5 people. I'm looking for 5 coaches who are looking to scale there and add 100K a month to the revenue in the next 90 days. Comment this below, right? That's a very simple lead generation post. Now, there are a lot of types of lead generation strategies, but the goal is just to get people to send me a DM, click the link in the bio, comment, do something that's going to get them to book a call. And the third one, just like in the highlight of the About Me, it's about building relationships with your followers. So it might be a personal story. Now, watch how those 3 combine into a strategy if you really think about it as a marketer, which I know you are all here brilliant marketers. If you just do lead generation, your engagement is gonna be shit, right? If you just do personal story, you're just always talking about yourself, you're not giving value. If you do viral plus targeted, you're gonna go and get a lot more engagement, and then you also convert people. So to give you examples, like here are 3 feeds, but let's skip that. Like obviously each feed has the combination of all the contents. We wanna combine those 3 content pieces in the strategy. So for example, that's a viral album that used to go viral back then, like a few months ago. So that's something that, blew up. So I put it here as an example as a carousel for a viral post. And we might have a reel with Brandon Carter that got like 60,000 likes, very, very viral, but also really targeted. So those are like different types of content pieces. This, for Paul, some post that we did that blew up. It's a new account that he had back then, got 500 likes, which was great at the time. 10 things that require 0 talent. I'm sure you all know this like kind of motivational post, so it's kind of going viral, but on the bottom, what you have is DM me freedom, and I will show you step-by-step YouTube automation secrets. So it's going viral, a lot of people are gonna see it, thousands of people are gonna reach this post, and out of those thousands of people that this post is reaching, a lot of them are gonna see the CTA and then send the DM. And that's how we create content that generate leads every time. For lead generation, that's an example of a carousel that we did for Brandon Carter that generated massive amounts of leads. 7 sentences I wish I read sooner. Maybe you all know this. It's something that was viral, going a lot on Twitter, on Instagram, different things, and we kind of made it specifically for Brandon. So it's basically also viral. But if you look on the lead generation, how it ends is basically, thank you for reading. Drop some fire down below if you wish you read this sooner. Now, if you're ready to grow your online fitness business in the next and hit 10K a month, blah, 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 DM me this word. So that's also a lead generation slide. This one, carousel, got, thousands of likes, reached tens of thousands of people, if not hundreds, and Brandon exploded his DMs from this post. So that's like an example of a lead generation carousel. We can also do it with Reels, but I think you get the point. There are many ways to do lead generation posts. For the Zap Twins, we posted this post. If you want to start 10K, comment below the word FBA. Then we get 87 comments, all comment in FBA. You guys can understand how getting 87 people interested in your offer is crazy, and how they can book at least 10, 20 calls out of those comments, qualify, see exactly who is qualified, and then book calls, and then have some sales. Is that clear for everybody? Yeah. Cool. Personal story, again, this is where We can either do it with Reels, we can do it with you can see me here, taking a cold shower. There's a full story about it. We can do it in many ways. But again, the goal here is to create some type of connection. So people can, because after all, we are looking on, doing Instagram and shout out in a way to scale our business. But it's also, we are talking to people. We are creating content. We are creating a brand. So we want to make sure people can resonate with it. I won't go more deep on that. I think you guys understand. Something just to be super specific about is all the messaging in your profile and content has to be aligned around what you sell. And that's very important because when we will turn on the switch and start running traffic, we want the audience to understand immediately who you help, what you do, and they will choose to follow you based on these reasons. And guys, this is tips that I'm sharing that I've learned after spending tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just on testing different things and knowing, because you sometimes try to go more viral, sometimes you try to go more targeted, there are certain ways that you want your content to be aligned around, and that's exactly what I'm showing you here. Now, when we have our content strategy in place, we are ready to talk about the next thing, which is preparing ourselves for running traffic. It's our sales process, okay? So, we have content, right? That's our first piece. Now we're going to talk about the VSL and the setter. So what do we need to really start selling? We need to have an offer ready to sell. That's clear to everybody. Well, whatever you are selling, if you have an agency, a coaching program, consulting, doesn't matter, you need to have it ready, because if you don't have something to sell and you're going to start spending thousands of dollars on traffic, it's not going to make it, right? So you better have something to sell and be ready to sell a lot of it. Because IG Shoutouts is a mass volume game. You're not doing it to sell one thing, you're doing it to sell hundreds. So you want to have your offer ready. And JR, you talked about offers in your presentation, and I could really connect to it, because something I saw with IG Shoutouts is a lot of people think it doesn't work. And a lot of people are wasting money on IG Shoutouts. And sometimes it's because they don't know how to do shoutouts, but sometimes it's even a problem that comes before it, which is their offer sucks. And it happens a lot. Like, you need to have a really solid offer for this to work. But this is not just specific for Instagram, right? If you run Facebook ads or you do TikTok ads, so no matter what you do, you need to have a really solid offer. And for Instagram, it depends what niche you are in. But Instagram is a very short attention span platform. And the offer needs to be an offer that capture desire and present the desired output in a way where it's minimum time involvement, minimum effort, minimum everything, because that's basically the easiest thing to sell on Instagram, no matter the niche, if it's fitness, if it's make money online, if it's this or that. You gotta understand and build an offer that is, let's say, irresistible offer, how Alex Hormozi is phrasing it. And some great tip I have is do actually market research and model success. Like, whatever offers you see, if you see someone in your niche who is doing IG shoutouts and you can see that they are spending tens of thousands of dollars every month on shoutouts, they are not spending this amount of money for nothing. They are spending it because it works. And whatever they are selling, create a similar offer or present your offer in a similar way. Because if it's working for other people, it can work for you. So that's really biggest tip on creating really solid offers that are gonna work for Instagram. Let's put it this way. Second step is appointment setter. Anybody don't know what appointment setter is? Great. So we need to have an appointment setter in place, someone who is going to talk to the leads and book calls, pretty much. Now, this is critical in Instagram, specifically because Instagram is a volume game. When you do shoutouts, Instagram is an international platform. So it's not like Facebook ads or TikTok ads or whatever you're gonna run, it's gonna be very targeted. You're gonna post on Millionaire Mentor or whatever the page that you decide to use. You're gonna get people that are also from India or people that are from third world countries, people that cannot afford your programs. And that's fine, it's part of the process. Instagram is a mass volume game. You gotta know which pages to work with, which I'm gonna talk about in the next step, which is shoutouts, but you still need to prepare infrastructure and foundations to qualify people, because not all of them are gonna be ideal customers. And for that, you have the content and the appointment setter to do the qualification and make sure we get qualified people to book a call. Next thing is the VSL funnel. Critical step. Many people just like from Instagram directly send the audience to a calendar. So let's say you are taking sales calls, so you're just going to book a call. And I see that this is getting people to just lose so many sales because the people that are going to follow you on Instagram are going to be very cold audience. I'm going to talk about it, but they're going to be they're not warm leads. It's not like they are in your Facebook group and they've been following you for a while. Naomi, we have a problem here. It's all good. So usually thank you. The purpose of the video sales letter on the entire funnel is just nurture the leads and nurture the audience. So whenever they're going to come to the sales call, they already know what you sell, they're going to be excited about it, they're going to be a lot more ready. And if they're just going to see your content on Instagram, which is all talking about viral things and just like what the desired output and not really going into the details. So usually you'd want to walk them through like a process that's going to nurture them before they get into your call. And then number 4, it's very optional, but I like to have a VA who is basically, and that's a trick. It's basically a trick that a lot of our clients are doing, that is generating extra, at least 30 or 40% of the revenue just from this, which is putting up a person, usually a VA, just sending messages based on scripts that we've built to new followers that are coming in. So let's assume we get our clients, let's say depends on the budget that they are spending, but let's assume they get 300 followers a day, right? Out of those 300, let's assume they're going to be 70 or even 100, let's say, qualified prospects who looks like they are a great fit. So we can put a VA who is going to send the welcome messages to all those 100 people, not to all the 300, but only to those who seem qualified. And then out of those, usually about 30% respond. And out of those, we usually 20-30% getting them on the call. So just sending extra 100 messages a day, getting us extra, more than 10, 20, 30 booked calls a month, just because we are saying hello and welcome to our new followers in a certain way. So that's also a critical part that I really like to do. And just like I said, we need to have our sales processes in place when we start running traffic so we can monetize relatively quickly. There are different approaches to building brands. You can build a brand and build it for 3 years, spend millions of dollars, and then start to monetize. A lot of people doing that. I believe in spending 1-2 months, 3 maximum, and start capitalizing really fast and making money. So that's why obviously we need to have everything in place before we start spending money on growing the brand. Now, I don't really have time right now to get into how you close sales, how you build the offer, those kind of tabs. I'm sure Joel is going to teach you more about it. What I can do is give you the specific on what you need to look in when you are doing specifically IG shoutout in terms of the sales process. And that's the basically 3 different things I talk about roughly. First thing, like I said, you gotta understand the audience is cold, and it's a critical step because a lot of the clients that come to us, they may be doing I have a lot of clients who are doing $500,000 a month, right? And they are doing $500,000 a month from Facebook or YouTube ads or whatever. And then they come to Instagram and they can't close. Is because the Instagram audience is different, and you gotta understand how to build infrastructure that's gonna be working for Instagram. That's obviously what I do with them and what I teach them, and then we get success. But the simple solution is just to understand and to really understand it, that the audience in Instagram is cold. And you need to warm them up in a way that they really understand how everything works. And that's where the funnel and the lead nurturing process comes into play. Second thing is that there are the attention span on Instagram is really low, just like I said. So all the content you want to create should be all focused around the desired output of your program. And you want to provide value around that. You don't really want to go heavy on providing content that is talking about how to do stuff, because people are not paying attention on Instagram to a lot of detail on how to do things. But if you're going to talk about the desired output and all, let's assume it's a coach who's teaching people how to make money. You can either just teach the 10 steps to win with affiliate marketing. No one is going to listen. It's going to get 20 likes. Or you can talk about, one way that got you to make $1 million or something like that. People are going to pay attention to that, even though the other thing is a lot more valuable. But the other post is going to get a lot more engagement. It's going to get you a lot more leads coming into the DMs. It's going to get you sales. People are going to pay. And only when people pay, they pay attention. So then you teach them all the how inside the program. And that's how Instagram works. And The third thing, just like I said, Instagram shoutouts is just large amount of leads. So you want to create a really strong qualifying process to filter the audience. Does that make sense, everybody, so far? Give me a hell yes if it makes sense, so I can continue. Yeah. Perfect, perfect, good. I want to bring up the energy a little bit. Let's continue. So, yeah, we got the sales process ready. We got the content ready. We can start running traffic. And we are not doing Facebook ads. We are not doing TikTok ads. We do IG shoutouts. That's exactly what I'm talking about. IG shoutouts. You guys are all ready?
Yes, sir.
Good. Good. You can do better than that. Let's do better. Who's ready, guys? Let's go. Good. Okay. Good. I love it. So IG shoutouts, just like I said, is paying team pages to get posted on their page. Now I wanna talk to you and show you exactly how to do it. How do you buy the pages? How do you create quality content on these pages? How to run it properly? So there are endless amount of niche pages to work with depending on your niche. Just like I said, you can do it for the fashion industry and you can do it for the coaching industry. It doesn't matter where you are. IG shoutout can work for you. Depends on how you run them, of course. Now, yeah, a ton of examples on different niches. Like you can see, there's a page in relationship, page in memes, page in this, page in that. There are pages for everything. And those viral pages, they usually do not make money. So when you come to them and you're like, hey, can I buy a post? They would sell it to you. And that's how the system works. So I've grown a 100 million followers network just working with these pages, and I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars paying all those pages. I'm their biggest revenue source, pretty much. And that's how you can generate traffic from these pages. They have already grown audiences. They already have those 400,000 followers, 1 million followers, 12 million followers, doesn't matter. They have it, and they don't know how to monetize it. So you can just like pay them $50, $100, $500, doesn't matter, depends on the page, and like post content in their pages to get traffic. Okay, Okay, so let's talk about the big advantages of doing shoutouts, maybe compared to Facebook organic, maybe compared to TikTok ads, maybe compared to, different things. And let's be real, anything can work for you. Let's say you're doing, what depends on the business, TikTok ads might work better than IG shoutouts, right? So everything I like to think that everything is working, it's up to how you make it work for you, right? So what I've learned to do really well is IG shoutout, and it's working amazingly for the clients we work with. And because number one is the cheap cost per follower and booked call. Some of my clients, they got used to paying $400 per book call on Facebook ads, right? And then they come and they book calls on Instagram shoutouts for $50 per booked call. And then they get, crazy return on ad spend. So one of the biggest advantages of IG shoutouts is the cheap cost per book call. Now, if you don't know how to do shoutouts properly and you don't have optimized profile and you don't have sales processes that are optimized for Instagram, probably it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be very expensive per booked calls. That's why I'm showing you the exact system, because it's like a puzzle. Those 4 pieces go together, and if you build it in the right way, which usually take a few months for your offer, and you start testing, you can start getting really, really cheap book calls. So that's number one. Number two, it's very consistent and predictable results. So let's assume you're doing Facebook organic and you post on Facebook groups and you do those things, so you do organic content. You can never know if your post is gonna go viral, it's not gonna go viral, you're gonna get attention, you're gonna get DMs, some months you're high, some months you're low. With IG shoutouts, it's just consistency. Once you understand how to spend $1,000 and make 2 or make 5 out of it or make 10, you can now spend $5,000. You can now spend $10,000. And we have clients, we are managing 30K, 40K, 50K every single month in budgets for them, and their revenue is consistent because you're basically building here a business. You're building a system that is scalable and has consistency in it. Now, obviously, the IG algorithm is always changing. Content pieces are always changing. Strategies are changing. But if you know how to adjust with it, which is what we are doing, this is why we are doing it on really high volumes, then it's consistent. And that's what I love about IG Shoutout. I've been doing this for 5 years, right? And it's working great. It's easy to start. There is a really low cost to getting started. You don't have to start with the biggest pages. you can start with a $50 per post page and just get started. So it's really easy to start. You can start test it out, right? It's easy to scale. Just like I told you guys, if you can spend 1,000 and you're now making more than 1,000, start spending more. Buy from more pages. Use the exact systems I'm going to show you right now on how to get more pages, how to get quality pages, and you can just start spending more and more and more. So it's very easy to scale. And let's talk about it. There is massive reach on doing IG shoutouts. Like, just so you guys understand, the shoutouts that we post for our clients get on hundreds of millions of followers. And they reach, like sometimes clients would show me how their friend saw the post that we posted for somebody on a women Facebook group. When they took screenshot of the ad, put it on some Facebook group. Like, it's crazy the amount of reach that you can reach with IG shoutout. You can reach millions of people, hundreds of millions, depends on how much you spend. And you are building a brand after all. And doing shoutouts is gonna put your name out there because people are watching Instagram. When I'm gonna meet you guys later on and you guys wanna do business with me and you're gonna build a relationship, you're gonna tell me, hey Gilad, what's your Instagram, right? And we're gonna talk on Instagram. And you guys would follow those pages and those influencers in your niche that you care about. And people follow the influencers that they care about in a way. So when you start doing IG shoutouts, you are going to put yourself on those pages, which is gonna give you massive reach, massive authority. You going up on a 20 million followers page has to mean something, right? And so that's another one of those benefits of IG shoutouts. Now, like I said, everything I just shared is true if you know how to run shoutouts properly. If you don't, it's really easy to spend a lot of money and no results. That's why I'm here showing you guys how everything works. There are three main and important metrics to consider when you run shoutouts, and those are the critical, metrics to just like make sure you're not gonna burn money and you're really gonna maximize your spend. So the first one is the influencer you choose to work with. So there are pages who, let's assume you're saying high ticket. So people in third world countries cannot pay, right, for those services. There are a lot of influencers that has their audience like 99% or 90% or whatever from third world countries. And Instagram is a sketchy game, so sometimes they would even lie to you and you would think they have 60% USA, but they don't. So you end up paying a lot of pages and then you get a lot of followers that are immediately unqualified. So, or you might go to an influencer that may look really big, has a lot of followers, you're gonna charge you a lot of money per post, you're gonna spend $2,000 for one post, but they don't have really big engagement. So you're paying a lot of money with the wrong influencer, it's just gonna burn your money. So you gotta really know how to pick the influencers that are the best. Second thing is the ad itself, the creative and the copy. Just like running Facebook ads, if your ad is gonna be bad, you're gonna start spending money, it's not gonna work. Same thing with Instagram. You gotta pick the right influencer and you gotta position the right ad, copy, and creative with that page. Now that's why me and my company, we test about like 10 to 20 content pieces a day. We spend thousands of dollars just on testing what works, because later on when we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, we wanna spend it only on one content piece that is really working. Now as an agency, I do it on a mass scale, but I'm just sharing this with you guys. So if you wanna do shoutouts, you understand that you wanna create some system to test different ads on a smaller budget. So you go to smaller pages, you go and you spend some money here and here, and you see what ad is gonna work the best. And then based on what's working the best, that's the one you're gonna scale up. So just like any other ads. So that's the second key factor that you wanna consider. And the third one, and I'm gonna add to it, is your profile, content, sales process, and offer. Now obviously, it's all the things that come in the back end, because you might have really good ad creative, you might choose the right influencer. If your offer sucks, it's not gonna work. If your setter don't know how to set, it's not gonna work. If your VSL sucks, it's not gonna work. Just like any business. So the third piece is really make sure your back end of the sales process and content is optimized to the best point. Does this make sense? Perfect. So, how do we find and buy quality traffic? How do I drive traffic into my profile in the most effective way to not burn money? And how do I convert the traffic I'm getting into booked calls that turn to be 6-figure a month in sales? That's what we're going to talk about right now. So how do I find quality traffic? It's really easy. You go to Instagram, anyone can do it, and you type your niche. So let's assume you're in the business niche. You're going to type business. And then what's going to happen is those team pages are going to show up. You see now 4 team pages just right when I type business. And then I'm just going to go to their pages and going to click on this arrow. And then they're going to open up a lot more pages. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. That's how you really find pages in your niche. You might be in the fashion industry, just type fashion. You might be in the art industry. I have another friend with art, physical products, and they make a ton of money just by promoting on art team pages. So it's working for any niche. Just put your niche in, find those pages, and then what you want to do is you want to reach out to them. You want to send them a direct message. And this is the exact script. Feel free to take a picture. Like that's what we use. It's been working really well. You might just text them, hey, I'm willing to pay, are you selling shoutouts? Or you just might be like, hey, we are buying shoutouts at the big quantities right now, and we are looking to collaborate with your brand. Can you please send me the pricing for 1, 3, 5 feed posts? And that's it. And usually you're going to start sending those messages, get responses. That's how you get influencers to work with you. Now, once they give you the pricing, you want to make sure you get their audiences, demographics. Right? You want to understand that their audience demographic is exactly matching what you need. Just like I said, India, US, something really important. Now, there is a backend software that specifically we use in the agency because sometimes they would just lie on the screenshots, but that's very rare. But I just want to let you guys know, and so you guys are all aware. But 99% of the cases, what they send is usually the real ones. Now, before we are working with an influencer, you want to get the screenshots of the demographic, reach an insight. You want to look on their engagement, and that's really important one. You're coming to a page. Let's say they tell you it's $100 per post, right? You want to really see what their average like is. And let's assume it's 1,000 likes or 5 or 10. This is a key factor to how much this ad is going to work when you place it, because that's the reach that they are getting. So what I really like to do is go to 20 pages, ask pricing from all of them, and then compare it to the likes that they get. Just count the average likes. And then if someone is $50 and their average like is 5,000, but then other one is $50, average like 20,000, obviously you go to the 20,000. So you want to look on their engagement, just like what I said, and then you want to create an ad that would go viral on the influencer page. That's what I'm going to talk about next, is how to create content that really goes viral on the pages. But just like what I explained about content, on your profile, not on the shoutouts, that you want to do viral plus targeted, if you remember, just to gain the engagement up. Same thing on the shoutouts. If you're just gonna create an ad that's not gonna get attention, it's gonna be very direct, I'm looking for 5 people, blah, 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 DM me this word. People are not gonna share it. It's not gonna be shareable. It's not gonna get engagement. And the Instagram algorithm works in a way of cycles. Pretty much, once the influencer is gonna post it, the IG algorithm is gonna show it to a certain amount of people from his audience. And those certain amount of people are going to just ignore the content piece, share it, get some action with it. And if a lot of them are gonna now share it and comment and engage with it, which means now the IG algorithm is gonna show it to more people and more people and more people. So let's assume you're posting on a page with 5 million followers. You wanna maximize, usually you can reach up to maybe half a million reach, 500,000 if it has 5 million followers. If you post a shitty ad, you might reach 10,000 people. But if you post a viral ad, you can actually reach 500,000. It's that critical. So you want to learn how to create ads that are viral. And you want to pay for one shout out and then test the results you're looking. And that's it. You just test it, see how it works. And you want to ask them also the insights of the promo when it ends. That's kind of the key points on how to do shout outs. Now, there is a backend software that I told you we are using. The name is Hype Editor. Also, feel free to take a picture. It's a software that's basically going to show you the truth. It's more accurate than the Instagram platform itself, as far as I know. So sometimes when a page will send me they have 30% USA, but then I would go and I would see they have 39, that will be more accurate. It's going to show you exactly where the demographic is, and it's also going to show me their account interests, like the follower interests. So 70% of the people would be interested in luxury, for example, blah, blah, blah. And then I can see if the interest of this audience is actually going to be a good fit for me or not. So it's optional. You don't have to use it, but I like it because it's important. Now, another thing that people don't know, but the way pages come up with pricing is really, there's no system behind it. It's not like you're going to go to the supermarket, buy milk, it's always going to be $3 or whatever. It's not. Like one page can do 300 while another page do 50. They just come up with the pricing based on whatever they feel, how they woke up in the same morning or whatever. So always negotiate, right? And that's a very important thing. Me, because I work as an agency, I probably, like in the space that I'm in, I pretty much have the cheapest cost. Whatever you will go and pay, I will pay 3 times less, sometimes even more, just because I'm negotiating and I have a lot of leverage points. And I'm telling this to you guys so you understand you can negotiate and you have leverage, especially if you use these points, which is like, hey, we will buy in large amount, or just telling them, hey, our content is going to be really native for your brand, or we will bring you consistent revenue month after month. Like I literally use those 3 things over and over again and dropping their price from 500 posts to 200 or whatever. I just buy in very large quantities. But that's also something you can do. Now, that's a lot to cover, by the way. I'm trying to maximize and really give you guys the entire system. So I hope you're following. Now, I want to go into the next thing, which is the content. How do I create content for my shoutouts? So this is how most people run promos. Just like I said, not engaged, poor call to action. The message doesn't resonate with the page followers. It's something really important to understand. If you're going to post on a fashion brand, which is all the audience is interested in fashion, for this example, then you're going to put a post on growing an agency for real estate or something like that. It's not going to be a good fit. And I'm giving an extreme example because you really want to learn the audience of the page. And if you learn what the interests of the audience of the page and what they're really interested in, which means what's really going to go viral on this page, then you can create content that would go viral, would resonate, and would get you a lot of qualified followers. So most people don't do that, and most people don't make the ads to look native on the account, which is also important. Now, how to create the perfect ad? There's no such thing as perfect ad, but just to demonstrate, I said perfect ad because sometimes when we have really, really strong and solid ads, we might just like get such a good results that we would just, clients can generate, boom, they would message me, hey Gilad, we just booked 50 calls today. It's like, oh my God, because we have a shout out that really crushed it. So you want to research your top 20 pages in your niche, and then you want to calculate the average likes on, just like I told you. Then what you want to do is you want to find content pieces that are 5 to 10 times bigger than the average. And that's really the secret to finding viral content, is you don't want to post content that is just the average. If the average like is 10,000, don't settle for 10, not 20, not 30, not 40 with those team pages. Find 1 or 2 content pieces that got to 100. And there is always a reason behind virality. You may not see the reason, but there is a reason. Sometimes I would not even see the reason after doing 5+ years of viral content, but I just know that there is a reason. And if a post got 10 times more on the average, this is viral. There's no argument about it. And you want to find those things. And then what you want to do is you want to model this and create similar content with context-based. And I'm going to show you an example after that. And then what you want to also do, and that's kind of a bonus, is research your competitors and see what shoutouts they run and what offers they do, how they do it. If they run it on a large scale, just like I said, it means it's working. So when you have the data from your competitors and from the pages themselves, you can match those data together, create an amazing ad. Number 5, exactly what I said. If they're spending a lot of money on shoutouts, it means that they are doing it currently is working. So modeling success. I'm a big fan of modeling success, by the way, guys. I've built my agency to over $2 million a year, and I didn't invent anything. Like everything I'm sharing here, I didn't invent it. I may be doing it for a long time. I may learn it from like 100 different sources, but everything I do, I try to model what's working. You guys are doing the same. You are here sitting in this event because you want to learn from Joel, you want to learn from me about shoutouts, from JR, doesn't matter. You want to learn from the people who already done it. So same thing with shoutouts. Just like see what's working, model it. Way easier to create businesses this way rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. Here's an example of an ad. This is something that's viral. It's going viral in the post, so we put it because those are quotes. We put them on pages specifically for this niche. It's working well, and then we just have a finish at the end, which is just like a CTA to follow Brandon Carter. Now this will get him a lot of followers, and because we're using the right page with the right caption and the right messaging, those followers are gonna be relevant to his brand. But not only that, there's gonna come a lot of followers because we're doing something that's viral and targeted. Just like the things I showed you before. There are more examples, few quotes, because we use quote pages. If you go and do it on a different, you may do agency for cars, right? And you go to car pages. So you want to understand what's viral on those car pages and create an ad that has a combination between the virality to just like a CTA to get people to follow. Same thing we do with Reels. So Bedros Keuilian is one of our clients, and he has a podcast, and one of these podcast clips is he's talking about something super viral, actually. Yeah, something about men and confidence, something that went super viral. So we can take this thing, put it as an ad, and obviously this would also crash because it's as well viral. And that's the key thing, is you want to learn what's working and what's viral on the pages that you're going to choose to work with. And that's the best example that I can give you guys on how to really make something viral plus targeted. This is an ad that I created years ago, so I don't mind sharing it. But it's something that we spent a ton of money on, and it used to work very well. It's not anymore because it's got burned out. But you see this quote, a wise man once said, "Bees don't waste their time explaining to flies that honey is better than shit." So this used to be something that you post on Instagram, goes viral, right? This quote is going viral everywhere. And then what me and my team did is we took this quote, redesigned it, use it as the first slide, and then slide 2, we created some copy. You're all marketers, so you understand it. People act the same way. There are flies and bees. The bee is focused on the important things in life. The fly is always seeking approval from other people. Very basic. We are the owners of our life. Don't wait for approval of other people. Take success. It's like very, very generic. But then take your first step by reading the caption now. PS, read it now. That's it. And then the actual ad was in the copy. So this, because it's super viral, got millions of impressions. And then because of the copy in the caption, we tag our clients. Boom, it blows up. So that's an example of how you take virality and you take something that is extremely viral. This one was like 20, 30 times more than the average on the page that we found it, and then boom, we blew it up, we turned it into an ad, and that's how shoutouts work. It's very simple, and once you really get the hang of it, it's crazy the amount of results we can get from it. Let's see what we have next. Yeah, some more examples. So like, this is how each promo should look like. Just like I said, highly engaging, strong call to action. I think we talked about all of this, so I'm just gonna skip through these. And another examples of shoutouts that we are doing, some insights of promotions, so you can see like you can reach literally millions and hundreds of thousands of people with your post. And imagine this is just like one post, you run on like 100 different pages a day, would blow up your brand in a crazy amount. And yeah, I would just summarize, and I will go back to the beginning because I just covered a bunch of data with you all, and we talked about many things. And I want to see if you guys can now, if this slide that we had in the beginning makes a lot more sense now, because that's what I want you guys to take out of it, is those 4 steps, very easy: traffic, content, lead nurturing, book calls, money. That's it. It's very simple, and that's how shoutout works. No need to complicate it. And once you really build it and it's working, you can scale it. And that's what I love about it. So does this make sense, everybody? Did you understand those 4 pieces? You understand how you can use shoutouts and just like add a new revenue source to your business? I know you're all here not doing shoutouts. So by starting to do shoutouts, you're gonna add a new source of business. So no matter what you're doing right now, you may be able to duplicate your business just by starting to tap into a new market that you're not leveraging yet. And that was my goal here, just to open your eyes about this new market, new opportunity. ID shoutouts, that is just, it's massive. It's working crazy for us over the past 5 years, and there's not so many people into it. And yeah, that's basically it. Let me know if you have any questions. I actually made some gifts for you to even help you even more with shoutouts. So what I can give you is the presentation slides. There's also a course about virality, about viral content that I made that I just talked to Joel like an hour ago. I was like, hey, Joel, can I give them like, some more value? It's like, yeah, do it. So there is like a really deep course that I made about virality that I want to give to you all. So feel free to scan it. And yeah, let me know if you have questions. And thank you for listening. Appreciate it.